talk about somebody else that left the ticket, Mike Sirois. Uh, and I think this will tie into my
I know him.
last contract question. Did you see Mike Sirois on Gordon's Twitch?
I might have heard the audio a couple
Right
years
after it
ago,
was
right?
like the week after Mike Sirois left, and he kind of got in
I
his
don't have any detailed memory of it.
Mike kind of got in his cups a little bit, which will happen. Might have had one or two, and I don't want to say it was contentious, but there might have been a little bit of an elevated tone to the conversation where he was basically putting forth the point that the quote unquote tier one guys, which was I think a term that drove him crazy, should have harnessed their power to make sure that the tertiary roles were either better cared for or compensated, however you want to put that, but that they deserved more than what was being allocated to them when it comes to board ops, ticker people, producers. And Gordon, I want to be nice to Gordon because I like Gordon, but Gordon kind of feigned ignorance and said, I don't know that people aren't making enough money. They haven't come to me and said that, I think were his exact words. In part of your contract, I think Jake mentioned this on the mom game. In part of your negotiations, it sounds like you guys wanted it also written in that you were going to get more for your people. Is that true? Or try?
Yeah, no, I do think for a long time I felt that whatever the board ops producers and whatnot don't, just because I do have some idea of what other radio stations pay. And I do have some idea of what, their revenue is generally compared to the tickets revenue. And I think those guys are pretty important to the sound of the show. And so, yeah, I think they've been underpaid for a long time. I'm not familiar with Gordon's comments or Sirois. I don't remember any of that stuff. So I just know what I think and say, So I have no idea what they said or anything.
But you were well aware of the compensation for the tertiary people. Like that wasn't news to you.
Yeah. I'm
one day
very well aware of that. We've always tried to give them guys, slice off a tiny piece of our bonus or something, and I think it's probably not enough of our bonus. I just think the sound of radio is a audio. The person who pushes the buttons to make the sound, and especially the guys we've had, Mino and freaking
Groobs,
Ham and Groobs and. Obviously, Jake was real good at it when he did it for a very short amount of time.
Julie was carrying a ton of weight for a ticker person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought Julie had very good, I thought she offered more than just a ticker person and really fit in on the ticket type thing. And, picked her spots and, contributed greatly to the show. So, yeah, I did think, and we did voice, and we kind of said when we were talking, like, hey, we think these people deserve a little more. And the only time anyone will listen to us is now when we're in this contract talk. So if those people could be helped out a little bit more, that'd be great. That's a thing that we do believe.
I just want to say, I think that's awesome. I would expect nothing less from my friend Jake because I know that's how he is and he came from those ranks. But I think it is something worthy of like recognition because, and I don't mean to be contentious towards the other hosts there. I know you certainly don't either. But it's a tall thing to believe that nobody else saw that was happening. And who knows, maybe they are, doing the same thing, chopping off the top like what you're talking about.
As good as Groobs was, I thought Mino upped the.
No doubt, I'm not here to take away from anybody.
But I'm just saying, all those, the good ones really do that, and now Ham is doing his own thing that's pretty amazing, and Yeah, it's those guys are extremely low paid. They're definitely paid lower than the producers. And again, I guess that's a tough thing for me to even have an opinion on because I don't know what the
constraints
machinations of the company are, and we got to do this, but we also got to pay for a tower, and we got to do this. And despite all those things, I still think, yeah, but other places I do know are paying their support staff better. So I think our place could. We're the Yankees. I think our place should have been stealing guys from other places. We had a, kind of a closed mentality of, you're here in the bunker and we don't want you if you've been elsewhere. I think it's a very valuable thing to have people who have seen how it's done elsewhere. And, I was always a proponent of let's go steal like the best guy on another radio station because that'll hurt them. You'll hurt the other radio station, and we're the Kings. That's what the Yankees do. They take the best player. They take Chuck Knobloch from the Twins. Is that an old reference? Anybody?
Do you guys represent yourself in these discussions, or do you have like a guy that goes in there and does some of this, or do you like consult the lawyer? Are you just like sitting down in a boardroom, a 50-seat boardroom, you on one end, and you and Jake on one end, and then some suits on the other end, and you're just like hashing it out? How does that work?
So there is a big, giant, long table. Oak. Oak is nice.
It's very nice.
And what we do, we walk in with a very intimidating group of guys. They're all in suits. They have briefcases.
Yeah.
There's like 7 of them. They all lay their briefcases down in front of them, and we're over on the side. And yes, it's our super team of lawyers. That's actually our vision. That's our vision for the future. But we actually just have a couple guys that we talk to that are lawyers. But so I guess the negotiating, if that's the term of, we kind of talk it out and then have the lawyer, look at the contract and then say, I don't like this. We nod and go, okay, yeah. Yeah. So we have legal counsel helping guide us through this. Yes. And like our local guys have legal, the company's legal counsel as well. So
are there guys in the industry that have agents? Like, do you get to a certain level where you have an agent?
Yeah, I used to have an agent. Bob and Dan had an agent for a while.
Damn.
Some guys have agents at the station. Some guys don't.
Real quick.
There's a time we just thought we didn't need an agent because the only place we're going to work is the ticket.
I should say thank you for letting us beat you down with this, because I imagine it would be tiring at some point. To that end, though, people are still talking about it, Dan. I don't know if you've noticed, but people still have some conjecture.
You're not trending anymore.
Did you hear Bob cry?
The morning show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, what do we do in that point? Do we text him like same or?
I talked to him myself later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At that point where you're there.
Bob is my. We're very. It's not like we hang out off the air, but
sure.
He is the guy I relate to the most at the ticket for sure. Just because we were, around the same age and starting the same bit with an already dominant radio station and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, Bob has done a ton for me. Definitely off the air and on the air for sure over the years. And it was a difficult weekend. Difficult by our week standards. And that's pretty similar. The differences back then, of course, I think the Fan was just starting up, pretty new. I don't think they had the Cowboys yet.
Mm-hmm.
So part of the calculation was this is definitely more money year to year. Like, could have been a difference of I think we're talking $100,000 a year at least.